You mean to tell me that some people stand to wipe? My mind is blown. We're going to discuss sitters versus standers in one of the most bizarre discussions of all time on today's show.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey! My name is Brett. This is my show. This is my show.
Hey, here we go with another episode. It's Brett Mason, your humble host for the Brett Mason Show podcast. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing, for hitting the share button for Facebook, for hitting the share button for Twitter. It really just takes you probably a tenth of a second to hit that button, but man, it just means the world to me. So I really, really appreciate all of those things, you listening and you sharing. I genuinely do. If you haven't downloaded our app yet, it makes listening really easy. It's a customized Brett Mason Show app. You download it. It's available for Android right now. It will be in the App Store for iOS and iPhone soon. They tell me soon. It's not quite ready yet, but if you have the Android, you can go ahead and download it. And every time a new show is added, it'll just pop right up in the app, and you can just listen to it right from there. Or anywhere, however you can link to a web page or whatever. So the app is really cool. And when we do live shows, and we will be doing some live shows, not only will you be able to hear the live show from the app, you will also be able to chat back and forth with us. So that's kind of cool. You can check that out. Just search for Brett Mason Show. And then you can also, on this page on my website where this podcast is posted, and if you're listening through some other means, you may have to actually go to the website, Brett-Mason.com. That's the hyphen, not the word dash, but the hyphen. Brett-Mason, MASON.com. And on any of the podcast pages, just click one, and at the bottom, you'll see a row of icons. Now, that will not only take you directly to download the app, but it also lets you sign up for the podcast, which means it'll automatically update on your phone. It'll automatically update on your computer, or you can do it really easily and subscribe on YouTube, which is another cool way. You can listen on TuneIn. We're in the approval process for iHeart. I hope that comes through. But all the icons are there. So all those options are located under the player on the web page that you're listening to this on, or either you can go find one. Today's show's crazy. You ever been browsing around on the internet and you stumble across that weird part of the internet? Am I the only one that's ever been to the weird part of the internet? The one that few people talk? Okay, it's not. I have been to that part of the internet. This isn't quite there. This is just short of there. The reason I can say that it isn't quite there is because this was posted on BuzzFeed, which is very mainstream. BuzzFeed stuff goes crazy. In other words, basically what BuzzFeed is, I hope to be 1/10 of the platform that BuzzFeed is one day. If you can get an article posted on BuzzFeed, you're going to have tens of millions of people read that article. And those guys that do that, boy, they are banking. They're banking in terms of fans. They're generating a lot of revenue over there. One day I aspire to be BuzzFeed, but I think I'm going to have to up my game, because if what I saw earlier today is any indication of the stuff that's going to be required for me to make it over the top. And I can tell you from being in radio that the most successful shows I was ever on, we had to think outside the box, and we had to do things nobody else was doing. I remember when Jerry and I had this old microphone, and the microphone was done, but it had been at this station for decades. That was the oldest microphone. It's like nothing will kill it. So we started this little thing called Killing Mr. Microphone, and we take suggestions on ways we should try to kill it. We tried blowing it up with M80s. I remember we took it out to the firing range and training grounds for the Dothan Police Department and fired semi-automatic weapons at it. And it still worked. So craziness. People like craziness. People like things out of the ordinary. So if that's what it's going to take, if this is an example, this story I saw on BuzzFeed just blew my mind, because I've never thought of this before. And so some of you, I think, listening right now, are going to be on the opposite side of me, and you're going to think I'm crazy. So we'll see. Apparently, there's a group of people who, when they do their business, when they do number 2 in the restroom facilities, drop a deuce, if you will, they stand up at the completion of doing said business and then they wipe. When I saw this today, my mind, it was like my mind had been shattered into a trillion pieces. It was as if an explosion had happened in my cerebellum. I have never ever heard of anybody doing their business, then standing up, then taking the toilet paper, and then doing the whippity wipe, and then tossing it back down into the toilet. Well, no, obviously they don't, because I found the video. I saw it today on YouTube, where people are discussing the pros and cons of both sides, each of them thinking the other person's method is equally as ludicrous. And then I began thinking, well, where did we learn this from? It has to be a learned behavior, right? Surely your mom, who's potty training you, sits you on the toilet, and I think most everybody's moms wipes their butt for them, right? When they're, I don't have the kid thing going on, so I can't comment, but and I don't remember being potty trained. But if memory serves me correctly, you get the kid going. That's the goal, is to get the kid on the toilet. But the kid can never wipe for itself, right? You get him going to the toilet, and it's a great victory. A great victory. But you still have work to do, because you still have to wipe for the kid. So you whip out the toilet paper and you tilt the kid around and get up in there and do the wiping. But eventually the kid picks it up. Now here's where I'm wondering what goes wrong, because apparently some people in the world from that particular point in time move towards standing up and wiping. Now my question is, I'm wondering if some moms, when they potty trained their kid, when the kid was done, if maybe some moms stood their kid up and then wiped them, and then other moms left them on the toilet and just kind of bent them over or something and wiped them. And that's where you come up with the standers versus the sitters. And yes, I did say sitters. There was no H in that word anywhere. Is that what happens? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Well, maybe some of these guys who talked about it will have an answer. I actually have a clip of these guys defending their positions vehemently. They believe that it's the only way. The standers think that's the only way, and the sitters think that's the only way, and you're not. And they think the other way is bizarre. And me being a sitter, I think standing it's like a whole other step. Like, why are you getting up? You're not done yet. You don't get up till you're done. That's the way I look at it. So I have a clip of them. It's kind of entertaining. It gives you insight to both sides, and I'll play that coming up for you next. Just a second.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey!
Right now, I must tell you about my friend Courtney. I must tell you about my friend Alan and all the wonderful people over at Toyota of Dothan, the rental car department. We actually just returned from a trip to Birmingham with my mom. We go up there every 2 weeks. And sometimes it's a day, sometimes a couple days, sometimes 3 days, whatever. And we always rent a car from Toyota Dothan Rental Cars. Today I went up there, or we actually went up to 2 days ago, got back today. We took a Camry up there. Camry's a great ride. It's very economical. It's plenty comfortable. I'm a big guy. I'm comfortable in it. We left Dothan, went all the way to Birmingham, did all the business, the running around for a couple of days, and made it back home, and still had a quarter of a tank of gas left of that Camry. Still. I've said this before. We can't, for us, well, first of all, you're saving the mileage on your vehicle, and you have a new model vehicle with low miles on it, so there's a sense of comfort there. But we can actually go up, rent the car, go up there and back cheaper because gas is so expensive for my behemoth Lincoln and her behemoth truck. So it actually is about the same price or cheaper for us to rent. And they do have some awesome prices. Look, shoot Courtney an email, tell her you heard about it on the show and you want some information on the prices and the fees and how you can save money and what you can rent. Because you can rent everything. Camrys, Avalons, trucks, I think Highlanders or whatever. Courtney will hook you up. Courtney at ToyotaofDothan.com. Courtney at ToyotaofDothan.com. Or just look them up online at ToyotaofDothan.com.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey!
So here we go. We have these guys defending their sides of standing versus sitting while doing their business after wiping. Which I never in a million years I never dreamed that this was even a thing. Like, I'm getting old up there now. I've been around. I'm not, as one of my uncles would say, I didn't just fall off the turnip truck. I was born at night, but it wasn't last night. Been around. Never have I heard of a stander. Now, granted, I don't accompany anybody to the bathroom to really see what they do in there, so it's understandable why I would never know, but I've just never heard of any standers. Here's a sitter and a stander from the BuzzFeed video discussing their positions on why one is better than the other.
There are so many advantages to sitting when you're wiping your butt that I feel like I could write a thesis on it.
You go around the back, you get a wipe, and you do it.
Arm goes under. This is the part that scares people, and you're not going to lose your hand. Don't worry.
Even just looking
like
at you
that?
doing this now, it still looks like a joke.
Don't even have to look.
And there's where my fundamental issue comes in.
If I was so inclined to have to survey the residue of my wiping, I could very easily.
But when you're coming back up, there's so much opportunity for contamination of the rest of your body. When you're standing, you have here, and pull all the way away, bring your arm back, take a look, and then dump.
Everything that has anything to do with poop stays below this line for me.
That's just gross that you're putting your hand into a toilet bowl, especially if it's a public toilet bowl.
Okay. I can neither. I don't know what I can do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. To me, that's akin to getting up from the chair to go change the channel on the TV. You're putting an extra step in there that's not required. You just grab the remote and change the channel on the TV now. You don't got to get up. There's no need to stand. You're quite comfortably seated. The place where you deposit the paper is right there, conveniently located. Boy, I don't know what to say. I guess I'm going to ask for comments. If you if you found this podcast from my Facebook page, then you know where the post is. Just comment under there and say, I'm a sitter or I'm a stander, and here's why it's by far the best, or those other people are insane. I'd like a vote of how many sitters versus standers we have. I really need to know what the percentage is. And look, if one of you got if one or the other winds up being in the minority, and I'm guessing the standers are going to be in the minority, but God, would my mind be blown if I learned today that the majority of people stand, and I've been in the minority all these years by remaining sitting. Either way, don't be intimidated. Just punch it in. Just comment and go, I'm a proud sitter or I'm a proud stander. And this is the best way to do it by far, and whatever. Because I need to know. Now, if you didn't find me from my Facebook page, you're going to need to go to the page and you'll find the post. It's facebook.com/BRETTMASON 69. Brett Mason 69. Brett has 2 T's. Brett Mason 69. Facebook.com/Brett Mason 69. Or sometimes you can just search Brett Mason and you'll find me. Go find the post where this podcast is and please comment. I need to know. Please. My brain will not rest. I will not get one moment's sleep until I know that I'm not in the minority. That I'm not weird. Somebody tell me I'm not the weird one. Please.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey. My name is Brett. This is my show. This is my show.